Football is losing its focal point of a fun-loving competitive game, as billionaire tycoons flood the game with their riches in an attempt to increase their vast fortunes by intruding the globally loved game in order to pocket additional riches. However, there are alternative influences which impact the unimaginable sums, such as TV companies and external brands, such as Audi and Emirates, who sponsor various competitions. With BT and Sky's agreement in 2015 to pay £10 million per game to have the coverage, it shows the value of televising the games and the profits from viewership. Additionally, ticket prices increasingly soar in parallel to these, with tickets in some English clubs costing in excess of £50 per game. These two statistics alone are eliminating fans, as the huge money influx is destroying the roots of the English game. Commercialisation in football is a process by which a service is introduced into the general public or market. Commercialisation is the business aspect of football, meaning it deals with the likes of ticket sales, sponsorships and other goods and services which are marketed through football. Trophies, tours and boardings are just some examples in the ways in which companies brandish themselves through football. Even the game has lost its heritage of the FA Cup, as its oldest trophy is now sponsored by Emirates, which cost them a mere £30 million in order to simply have their name associated with the cup, which shows there is a price for even the heart of the English game. Crocky and Amarante state that football clubs are more and more turning into publicly owned stock firms, responding to the logic of the market. The clubs are selling an increased amount of products, not just a football match, far beyond the local ground, to supporters that are simultaneously defined as consumers, thus demonstrating the idea that businesses utilise football as product placement, diversifying from the focal point of the game. One primary example of commercialising football is the Red Bull brand. Red Bull purchased two sides, Red Bull Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg, which resulted in a full rebrand of the clubs, including kits, crest and name, destroying the club's foundations and demonstrating that it is a business to the owners. As a result, they are careless to fans and do not mind ostracising them, ripping the core focus of a club away. As a result of their takeover and brutality, despite their climb from the 5th Division to the Bundesliga, they are the most hated club in Germany due to the way they have gone about it. In an attempt to combat the commercialisation, fans campaigned about ticket prices by wielding various banners at different matches. One banner linked to the price of Bundesliga and Champions League winners, Bayern Munich, being a mere €108 for a season ticket, whilst in England to watch 4th placed Arsenal it would cost in excess of £1,000, which shows the English game has been heavily damaged by financial powers taking advantage of the average working class fan. In addition to the damage, the commercialisation aspect limits English players' growth as they are limited to game time due to better foreign players coming for more financial offerings. 60% of elite players in England are currently foreign, showing the magnitude of the foreign players. Businessmen come in as they know they can pump money into cheap championship clubs to get them promoted to the Premier League and earn in excess of £100 million from TV deals and just Premier League football alone. However, clubs such as Blackpool, Leeds, Portsmouth and Leyton Orient have been ruined by money-driven owners with one aim of trying to profit from the clubs. Due to the turmoil created by these owners, it's resulted in petitions and strikes from fans, which ultimately has destroyed some of the community-based elite clubs. Football has been a sport admired around the world for hundreds of years. In 1863, the FA was formed and football became a mainstream worldwide phenomenon. In 1904, FIFA emerged, meaning world football had a platform to reach out further on, creating a community globally with people showing an interest and love of the sport. 13th of July 1930 saw the sport engage in its first World Cup, held in Uruguay. It consisted of 13 teams and was spread over 18 days. The sport attracted roughly 32,000 fans per match, leading me to believe that football on a global scale had hit the ground running. It is suspected that football is played in over 200 countries, but predominantly famous in Europe, Asia and America. Globalisation is basically the process of which a business or organisation develop internationally, creating an influence to start operating on an international scale. In regards to football, it is the relationship that can be formed globally in all different locations. Football brings a high amount of anticipation and expectation, as it is one of the world's most sought after sports. Along with sporting prominence, football also brings a high equity financially in regards to sponsorship, player wages and TV rights, which is also a major factor as to why it is appealing to promoting countries. Football is commonly popular in Europe, Asia and America, providing the world with world-class stars such as Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi and Gareth Bale, all of whom come with extortionate transfer fees, wages and sponsorship contracts. Having world-class players in certain teams or leagues is a great way to promote and raise more money through the use of shirt sales. For example, when David Beckham moved from LA Galaxy to PSG, he raised a staggering £15 million alone in shirt sales, according to the Daily Mail. In areas such as Asia, although participation may be lower in comparison to Europe, the fan base has soared due to major clubs such as Manchester City and Manchester United hosting their pre-season tour friendlies in their countries, and with the countries providing great stars such as Shinji Kagawa coming from Japan to play in Europe's elite teams such as Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund, creates a hype around the country having produced top players. Although football is one of the world's greatest sports, it hasn't fully grasped itself in every country. For example, in Canada, football is overshadowed by more popular sports such as ice hockey, and in Lithuania, basketball overshadows football easily. This is evident in the country's international performances in World Cups as they consecutively fail to qualify.